Thank you so much, Chris, and thank you so much for your guidance and your leadership. We could not do this without you. We appreciate you. So now it is my pleasure to introduce Thao Costis, who is the Interim Executive Director for Harris County Community Services Department. Many of us know Thao for her many years of leading Search Homeless Services, who is a key agency in our homeless response system that works to move people experiencing homelessness into jobs and stable housing. So from early in her career, Thao has always focused on ways to create a better and thriving community for all. So we are so glad that she is able to join us today in order to reflect on the past decade with the way home. So please help me in welcoming Thao Costis.
Thank you so much. Yes, so the title of this conversation is about a reflection of a decade, but I think they bring me in because I actually have 3 decades of perspective. I promise I won't keep you beyond the 15 minutes, but I think what it is about context. And as our community is doing so much and learning from each other, and other communities are coming to us also, it is good to try to understand what lessons we've learned and how we continue to evolve from here. So my first job actually was at the Coalition for the Homeless back in 1992, when there were only 5 of us. I think today you have 70. It's amazing how far we've come. We had the receptionist, the accountant, the executive director, the data person. Now, back then, there was no internet. There was a computer, but it was still that green, those little green slashes. So the database was about really trying to create this directory, this 1-inch directory, color-coded. Yellow pages were the shelters. Pink were the assistance ministries. We even included board and care homes. They're not really part of our system today, but back then we didn't have anybody else. So we relied on whatever resources we could get. And my job, the 5th one, was newly created. It was their very first attempt at trying to coordinate. And we were bringing together first the public entities, city and county health departments, the VA, Metro for transportation, HISD for education, and there were 12 of us. But I quickly learned that there are so many incredible organizations and people, grassroots organizations here in Houston, that arise when there's need. When people see suffering, Houstonians step up. And so we started including them, and we met at the church on Main every month, first Wednesdays of every month from 8:30 to 10, to talk through what are we doing, and separate into our little categories. And so we were still, though, just focused on survival needs. People were still scrambling. Our agencies were working on, let's see, if somebody can advance for me, I can't. So this was actually a line in 1989, Search, our very first resource center. So I'm going to refer to Search because that's what I know and that's the data that I can speak to. But it's a reflection of many organizations that were part of this. So our agencies were trying a lot of different things, but it was still cumbersome, frenetic, well-meaning efforts. 100 of us, different organizations then as it is now, but of course we're much more sophisticated now. But we each were reporting high numbers of people we were serving, we were providing meals to, and people were still, though, were just coming in and out of our facilities. And unfortunately, they were just part of a revolving door. People continued to struggle with finding a real place to live. They had to maneuver and cobble together the bits and pieces of each of our individual agencies' resources. And even those of us who tried to help by creating more and more services, education, employment, childcare, healthcare, you name it, we tried to do it. But we didn't succeed to the extent that we wanted or needed to. And again, I'm speaking from Search's experience. We would tout 10,000 meals that we were serving each year, hundreds of people that were helping with employment services, but only about 40 to maybe 70 people that we actually were able to put into homes. And that's because we had the grant or we had the building with the single room occupancy units to put them into. We didn't really work with each other to the extent that we needed to. So even into the mid 2000s, Search was spending $9 million, but we only had $8 million really to spend. So do the math, but that's another story for another day. But it was a reflection of our heart getting in the way of the practicalities of helping. We were reducing the suffering of people that day, but these people, again, kept coming back again and again and again with no clear answer to their homelessness. So for 20 years, I've been part of this community's efforts and part of an agency that was investing tens of millions of dollars over these years, 160,000 man hours each year, and not finding solution until 2011. That was a pivotal year, a year of learning, opening up our minds and challenging us to set aside our individualistic approaches to come together for collective impact. What is that? We were skeptical. You know, can we really end homelessness? Can we really help that man that's been out on the street for so long with such suffering, mental illness? Our Mental Health Retardation Authority, that was their name at the time, now it's Harris Center for Mental Health and IDD. MHMRA, we always felt like they were full. They couldn't take on anybody. There's not enough money. There's not enough treatment. There's not enough fill in the blank. So the list went on. But bottom line was there wasn't enough trust in each other and trust in the idea that we can actually make a difference. So with the political will that was initiated and really cemented with Anise Parker during her second term, the technical assistance that was provided by HUD, and the willingness of our agencies to really, you know, we were tired. We wanted some different answers. We started taking action. So this picture actually is one of our board members participating in the first initiative that we tested this with 100,000 homes campaign. This was a national effort to really understand and know who are these people who are on the street, who are suffering, know them by name, and really understand their needs, creating and using a vulnerability index, trying to create one to begin with. All right, now I'm losing my pace. Yeah, and so this was our test to try to really determine how can we create a different system and break through the red tape. From here, we did the 100 in 100 days, trying to house 100 chronically homeless veterans in 100 days. Our data showed that it was taking a veteran 220 days to get from the street into a home, 2/3 of a year. That's ridiculous. So we succeeded with this 100 in 100, and we kept going with it. And so here we are coming together, really putting down our guard, developing this coordinated access system, embracing housing first, and finding that we can put humanity and practicality together to get real results. And today we're able to, so this was actually one of the first graphs, and it just was so simple and yet so clear. Of course, you know, we're competitive against our sister cities, but we could see that we were moving at lightning speed to place people in homes and doing it consistently year over year over year. So today, let's see, what is we've been facing other challenges along the way. Hurricane Harvey, COVID, Winter Storm Uri. But you know, with every test of our system, we keep showing up and keep doing better. And we get new opportunities because with every disaster, we're getting extraordinary support and resources from our government. And with that, the county and the city, we are both working on building more and more apartment complexes, affordable units, building single family homes. The county has been a major partner now along with the city in addressing and really embracing this issue and making our entire community a more thriving place. The way home is the answer. We are working together. We are now able to even expand into our cross-system partners. I know Bob Uri, even though he retired from Central Houston after 38 years, he beat me with the search. I was only there 28 years. But yeah, and Bob can't quit. He won't quit. We won't either, right? None of us will. So yes, so all of us coming together, we can achieve a vision of a Houston without homelessness. So thank you.